For the better part of a decade, Pirates was just as much a mainstay of the LEGO brand as Castle or Space. The theme would in fact have uninterrupted releases from 1989 to 1997, releasing all sorts of sets under different factions and sub-themes, much like the Space and Castle sets of the time. You see, Pirates was born into a very different LEGO world than that of today. 1989 only saw the release of 146 sets in total, compared to 2022's staggering 965. Only a few themes were in production at the time: Duplo, Town, Fabuland, Basic, Castle, Space, and Technic. Today, there's some 30 concurrent themes still running. Pirates entered the scene with a bang, bringing 12 new sets to the table right from the beginning in 1989, and many of those are still very well known and loved today. For instance, that first batch of sets brought about 6285 Black Seas Barracuda, 6276 Eldorado Fortress, and 6270 Forbidden Island. Pirates made quite the impression, and it was here to stay. By 1997, there were well over 50 different kits in the line. One of the last sets of this Pirates Golden Age was a simple minifigure pack called Buccaneers, one of 4 sets released in 1997. At the time, it cost $6. That's about $11 today, which isn't bad at all for 5 minifigures and some extra goodies. Heck, LEGO charges $5 for a single minifigure blind bag these days. Say what you will about quality improvements over the years, but in my mind, all 5 Buccaneers you see here are some of the best LEGO has ever had to offer. Even the most common of these figures, the iconic floppy arm skeleton, has a rich and storied history, though perhaps you'll be surprised as I was to find that he's not as old as you might think. Our floppy-armed friend's first appearance was in 1995 in 6254 Rocky Reef, as well as 3 Royal Knights Castle sets that year. Various versions of the figure would appear in well over 70 sets until 2017, where, strangely enough, he would finally be laid to rest after showing up in Heart Lake Hospital? I surely can't be alone in hoping this beloved figure will return again someday. 2 relatively unknown figures in this set would be the soldiers of the Imperial Armada, simply referred to as Red and Green on Bricklink. There's not too much information to go off with these 2. Regardless, they're remarkably beautiful and detailed figures for their time. Green would appear in 2 sets, 1996 Armada Flagship and its remake again in 2001. Another version of the figure with red silver chestplate would show up in another 1997 set, 6281 Pirates Perilous Pitfall. It's an incredibly rare pirate set with a starting use price of some $400 US. Red was also included in both versions of the Armada Flagship. The chrome silver chestplate is quite special, only having appeared once outside the previously mentioned sets, and that's with Knights Kingdom 1 in the year 2000. Knights Kingdom 1 featured many collectible chrome parts, such as the iconic silver broadsword, a chromed dragon crown from 1993's Dragon Knights, as well as a chrome printed bull head shield. In Red's case, the chrome piece hides a well-decorated torso print. There was only one other Imperial Armada figure. He was the most common of the trio, being featured in 6 sets altogether. The next figure in the set, our Tricorn Hat Pirate, was a fairly common one in the later years of LEGO Pirates, with 5 different versions of him showing up across 8 different sets. One had a peg leg, one had green pants, one had light gray pants, and one has a brown hat instead of black. The torso is quite similar to another common blue shirt that was introduced during the first years of Pirates, and was almost certainly its replacement, given that the new one came out as soon as the old stopped appearing in sets. Even though small changes like this happened within the Pirates theme from 1989 to 1997, I think it's well worth commenting on the remarkable consistency of the sets. Kits produced in 1989 look right at home when paired with the last sets of the Golden Era. The LEGO Group was not without its innovations. Within the Pirates line, the Islanders sub-theme might be the best example of this, but the early to mid-90s were marked with undeniable consistency that LEGO really hasn't seen since. There's a sort of contentment to be found here. This isn't the LEGO of today, trying to make everything bigger and better than before. This was a company continually producing well-made, affordable, by LEGO standards at least, sets for kids who just wanted to play pirates. It's beautiful, it's wholesome, and I love it. Perhaps the most perfect example of this consistency is Captain Redbeard himself, a figure who remained unchanged from 1989 to 2002. Now, it's hard to think of a more iconic named LEGO character. You've got guys like Johnny Thunder, of course, but he only lasted from 1998 to 2003. Redbeard ruled the seas for some 14 years, and that's not including his Jack Stone remake in 2004, or his appearance in the beautiful LEGO Pirates Ideas set in 2020. Yeah, there's quite a few variations of the figure, but only 2 I would call classic. The second is a rather peculiar entry, being not from the Pirates line, but rather from Studios. Now, Studios is a pretty wild theme all on its own. I'll have to save that for another video, but I will highlight the one polybag that included this rather downgraded Captain Redbeard. It seems this was some sort of promotion done in collaboration with Quaker Oats breakfast cereals in 2001. It's an interesting bit of LEGO history preserved in this nice small package. But yeah, that was the LEGO of the 90s. There were no blockbuster movies which taught you the canonically correct way to construct and display your minifigures. The minifigures shamelessly recycled parts from each other again and again. There weren't even good guys and bad guys, and the theme was better for it. Other Pirates themes have come and gone, but none have quite captured the original charm of the golden era. As much as I love Pirates of Barracuda Bay, its outlandish size goes against what so much of the original theme stood for. As someone who grew up with the LEGO of the 2000s, it wasn't until I put this simple set together that I realized fully what I had missed out on. Small and insignificant though it might seem, Buccaneers is a set that celebrates not only the golden age of LEGO Pirates, but perhaps the golden age for LEGO as a whole. A time where imagination, creativity, and play were the driving forces behind the company's decisions. The LEGO of today is no longer the toy company of the 90s. In fact, I'd argue it's not a toy company at all anymore. They're a manufacturer of small plastic licensed collectibles. I don't love last year's Galaxy Explorer Redux because it's the best spaceship ever. I love it because it reminds me of the good times I had with my own LEGO Mars mission and Life on Mars spaceships. I love the LEGO of today because I look at it through my nostalgia tinted glasses and see the LEGO of yesteryear. I do wonder if the kids of today will feel as strongly towards LEGO in 20 years' time as I do looking back 20 years now. Even if I didn't grow up with the golden era of LEGO Pirates, themes like Knight's Kingdom, Mars Mission, and Power Miners were all amazing themes that still encourage me to make my own adventures. So many themes of today, Star Wars superheroes, Ninjago, and as much as I hate to admit it, Harry Potter too, are so restrictive in so many ways, where creating your own stories outside the official ones already told in the movies and shows just feels discouraged. You see, to me, it looks as if the LEGO group had nailed their secret recipe, and then they just slowly forgot about it. Yet everything that modern LEGO lacks is still all right there, like some buried pirate treasure lost to time. So hey, LEGO, if you're looking for that magic again, the magic we AFOLs are always talking about, well, I found it right here in a little set called Buccaneers. Its simplicity, its consistency, its imagination.